Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 21st of January 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, also, just before we jump in, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order to not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab, and I believe you can find some useful information in there. So, but right now let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the German DAX. Now, I talked about this one yesterday in my Traders Espresso, and basically we still struggled to push above the 13,550 zone, or should I say remain above that zone. Looking at the cash index right now, we can see that we are seeing a bit of a slide, a bit of a decline. So the Asian markets are on a steep decline right now for today. And of course, we are seeing that the other indices, other cash indices, are following suit. Now, again, previously what I talked about, yesterday what I was talking about, that in order for us to get comfortable at this point here with higher levels, we needed to see a nice good push above the 13,600 level first, and only then we could aim for higher areas. But you can see that, and we can see that on the cash index right now, the price is sliding back down. It's currently balancing near the 13,470 mark, so basically around here. But what we're going to do here is, how we're going to play this one out is, we'll keep an eye on this area of support near the 13,423 level that I talked about previously, and if we do see a nice good slide below this, then yes, we will aim for the 13,334, or even further down here for a deeper correction towards this upside support line, this medium term upside support line taken from the lowest point of August. Now, again, for now, everything's kind of looking quite interesting here for now. I mean, we're probably going to remain somewhat neutral, but if we start seeing a move again below the 13,423, then yes, we will start considering lower areas. But if this slides further down and drops below the 13,334, now this is where we'll consider a slightly deeper correction to the downside until we could reach this upside support line. In case this decides not to travel lower here and not to go for that deeper correction and reverses back to the upside, again, I'll repeat myself, for us to get comfortable with higher levels, a push above the 13,600 level would be needed first, and only then we'll aim for higher areas. But then again, with the higher areas, we'll be very careful, because all this would be an uncharted territory, because the all-time high for the DAX is 13,600. So keep your eyes on that one. Gold. So gold managed to break above this key barrier. I talked about this one previously when I was covering gold, and I was talking about this 1563 mark, which is the high of the 10th of January, and previously that was the the highest point of, or should I say, the apologies, not the highest point of January, but it was a nice area of resistance. Here you can see that the on the yesterday the precious metal kind of got held here again near this barrier and kind of drifted back to the downside. But this morning, or should I say late evening yesterday, the commodity managed to push above it. And let me just actually double check that. Bear with me one moment. It seems that it could have been overnight here. No, that is correct. This is early hours of the Asian morning. There we go. So we had a nice pop here through this level, through the 1563 mark, and now in a way it seems that everything is kind of leaning more towards the upside, although we may see a bit of a correction here. Still, as long as it remains above the 1563 mark, we will stay positive overall and aim for the next potential target near the 1595. So we'll keep an eye on that one. If it suddenly drops back below the 1563 zone, now this is where we'll remain very careful and cautious, because what we're going to look at then will be this little short-term kind of a bit of tentative one upside support line. And if this gets broken, now this could in a way lead towards a bit of declines here, maybe a move back towards the 1540 or even slightly below that. But again, for now guys, everything's kind of leaning more towards the upside. Let's see if the bulls can maintain that position. So again, but as long as it remains above the 1563, we will continue aiming for the upside. Bitcoin. Now, I looked at this one last week, and basically Bitcoin didn't quite reach one of our targets, and one of our targets was around, let me just zoom out here a little bit, near the 9,600 level, which is the high of the 4th of November, or in other words, the highest point of November last year. So it did travel higher. It broke above this other key area, 8,893, drifted higher, but found resistance near this little area right here. Let me just put this one on the chart, near the 9,150 zone. So you can see that we did have a small overshoot, but the kind of the 4-hour candle never even closed above this. So this area proved to be quite a significant area of resistance. So this is something that we're going to be keeping an eye on right now. But the main focus here is on this little territory right here, which, as you can see, also played out nicely as a good area of support, because previously what I was talking about was that if we get a push above the 8,470 zone, this could open the path towards higher levels and we could start aiming higher. But in this situation, given that it found resistance near the 9,150, now drifted lower, and it did test this 8,470 zone and rebounded from it. So basically this is going to be another important area to watch, because if it suddenly drops below this, well, I mean, we could scrap this idea that we had here with the upside for now, and the last chance for the probably for the bulls to step in could be near this this downside line, and this downside line, by the way, is taken, let me just quickly show you where it's taken from. It's taken from the highest point of June last year. So in a way that could be the kind of the last point where the bulls could step in, because if it starts dropping lower below this downside line, in a way it could also place the price back below the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart, and this could increase the chances of a move further down. So in a way, guys, for now all eyes are on this area 8,470. If it continues to hold, we could see a nice push to the upside again, but given this situation, probably just to be on the safe side, what we would like to see is a push above the 9,150 level before we could consider higher areas, just to be on the safe side, because this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yep, we could aim for these higher levels. For now, just be very careful. If you're looking for the upside, then at least have your stop loss somewhere around here near the 8,470, because if it drops below this, this could lead towards slightly further levels, further declines. and we'll keep an eye on this downside line, see if it can rebound from it or not. If it cannot, then well, it could be a feast for the bears. NZDUSD. Now, looking at this pair, nothing really spectacular happening here apart from just the fact that it continues to trade above this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 1st of October. After it found good resistance around here, and let me just quickly zoom this one in, found good resistance near the 0.6756 zone on the 31st of December. It started drifting lower. The pair now is trading slightly below the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So in a way, everything's kind of leaning towards a potential maybe retest of this upside support line. Now, the only thing is, just to be on the safe side, wait for a drop below the 0.6582 zone before considering this little move here, this little potential move to the downside. So, and in terms of the upside, for us to get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, we would like to see a push above the 0.6625 zone here, and if we do get a push above this level, then in a way the rate could be placed back above all of its EMAs, which would increase the chances of a potential move to the upside again. So that's why, guys, for now, keep your eyes on this one. Let's see how this is going to play out, but again, for now we're leaning more towards the downside, but we will consider that lower area, slightly lower areas, if we get a drop below the 0.6582 zone. So keep your eyes on this one, and then we'll aim for this upside support line. With the upside, again, pretty straightforward. Again, as I said, 0.6625, a nice good push above this could place the rate back above all of its EMAs, and yep, it could increase the chances of a further move higher. Initially, we'll target only the 0.6665, and then we'll take it from there. GBPJPY. Now, the British pound against the Japanese yen. Now, after this is what I was talking about previously, guys. So after we had our nice break here to the upside here through this 143.46 zone, we targeted the area here, the 144.36. It held the rate nicely to the, and you can see that the rate drifted back down while we were still hanging around above the 143.46. What I was saying, that if it continues to hold, we could see something like this happening, where a nice rebound could bring the rate back to the upside here, and aim maybe for the 145.43. But you can see that it got broken. We did see a retracement, small retracement, but the pair kind of failed to push back above this barrier, above the 143.46. So what we're going to do now is we're gonna we'll wait for a push above this barrier in order to consider some higher levels, but at the moment, at this point in time, there is a likelihood that we may see this one drifting a little bit lower here, maybe testing the 142.3435, and even maybe testing this this upside support line, this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the lowest point of September. But that said, as long as it remains intact, we could see something like this as well. This is basically kind of the last chance for the bulls to step in and drive this one to the upside again. If this line breaks, well, I mean, this could turn out to be ugly for the buyers. EURUSD. Now, I talked about this one yesterday. Initially, it almost managed to reach our target here near the 1.1066, or in other words, near this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 1st of October. It didn't quite reach that area, and it found support around here. Let me just put this one on the chart, near the 1.1075, and in a way, for now, what we're going to do here is, given the fact that it rebounded from this 1.1075 and pushed back to the upside and is now testing this this downside resistance line that I talked about previously, taken from the high of the 31st of December, we'll be very careful here, because in a way, the fact that it pushed back above its pivot today, right now, it's kind of could be seen somewhat as a positive, but ideally probably this could be this riskier idea here. If we get a push back above the 1.1103, somewhere around there, and also a push above the 21 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, now we will start potentially aiming for some higher levels. The only thing is that for us to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, a push above the 1.1143 zone here would be needed, would be better, but until then, we'll remain very careful, cautious. In a way, guys, for now, basically look at it this way: as if it doesn't, if it struggles to push above the 1.1103, there is a possibility, there is a chance we could see another drift to the downside towards this medium-term upside support line. And in a way, what we're going to do here is probably going to get rid of this downside line, because no longer probably valid, and the main focus will be now on the support and resistance levels. So the level for today to watch is the 1.1103. If it breaks above this, and if we see a push above the 21 EMA as well on the 4-hour chart, then there is a possibility we could see maybe a drift north. But again, we'll be very careful here, because at any time it could maybe find resistance near the 200 EMA and then reverse back to the downside. So that's why this level here doesn't really look very attractive. The more attractive level for the upside is the 1.1143 zone. So again, because we're not far from this medium-term upside support line, and if it holds, this is where the bulls could re-enter the game. But if it starts failing, then, well, I mean, deeper declines could be possible. So keep your eyes on this one. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me later on at my Traders Tea Time, as always, 14:15 GMT. For now, I hope you have a wonderful trading day, guys. Stay safe, be very careful, and yep, I'll see you later at my Traders Tea Time, 14:15 GMT. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.